morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's now been over 2 months since Chamisa announced his comeback, his return to politics, to the dancing floor. Is there any progress that has been made in terms of delivering on what Chamisa and his fellow MDC-CCC leaders were elected to do, i.e., deliver the democratic changes the nation has been dying for these last 26 years? The answer to that has got to be no. Chamisa has just returned and has been blundering from pillar to post, taking over from where he left off. The one thing that we have got to establish here is that Chamisa and his fellow MDC-CCC friends are corrupt, incompetent, they are liars and conmen. And accepting that is the starting point for real meaningful political change in Zimbabwe. Because we have got to remind ourselves that MDC-CCC guys have been elected for the primary purpose that they will implement the necessary democratic changes to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. Because they are corrupt, they are incompetent, they are liars and conmen, they failed to do so in 26 years. And we are not going to get away with that one. Welcome to the program, Ben.
Good day to you and good day to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. You know, I had been following, what people are saying on social media and their reaction to Chamisa's comeback and even the way he left. And, I came to the conclusion that the near 2 million people that voted for him in 2023, it was very evident that he had lost many with the events that followed after 2023 elections. And if you look at it, he had promised so much and he had delivered absolutely nothing. And he just decided to walk away. It's happened before, with the same opposition outfit, just a different name, but it's the same opposition outfit, where they have given so much hope only to let down the people in the end. So I'm not very, very surprised that now we are seeing a very divided group of people, for and against Chamisa. And I can say, and the way I'm looking at it, it's pretty much evenly matched. So we are looking at a big fallout from that near 2 million.
Well, here is one of the big issues that is coming in the pipeline. to derail Chamisa?
The account, which is after elections. All along, there was no any other account.
There were accounts, several of them. President Chamisa, I'll tell you, he has got an account. Somewhere. All right? A party has got an account. Coulthard, when we formed the Triple C in January, he drove from Bulawayo to Harare to open an account as the treasurer. And the criminals around President, because they've already captured him, they told him that we've opened the account. And then he said, wow, how? No, we've opened the account. We have used the technical staff to open the account. So there's an account, which is pseudo, where Coulthard is not a signatory, yet he was the treasurer. He drove back. So there are multiple accounts.
So now, as the SG open account and not the treasurer.
Yes, I am the Secretary General.
So where is the role of the treasurer? Who's the treasurer?
Well, we appointed the acting treasurer.
Who is the acting treasurer?
No, you will see when these things come, when these things unfold. There is somebody who acted on that basis in order for us to facilitate that opening of the account. But your question was on accountability.
Yes.
Yes, the party fears accountability. Let me tell you, we know one thing for certain, that we received the money from the European Union that was intended to pay the polling agents. So ZANU-PF received the same amount.
Is this a myth or is it fact?
It's not a myth. It's not a myth. We received that money. Our polling agents today are not paid.
How much money are we talking about here?
We're talking about 2.something million. And in next week, early next year, I'll be writing to the president. I need accountability. Those people who were in charge of that money, because that money was disbursed outside my authority. We need accountability. Our polling agents are not paid as we speak. Where did that money go? We went to the campaign. We received monies. So people are coming out and say, we put the money on the presidential campaign, we put the money on the members of parliament so that their nomination fees are paid for by the party. And most of the nomination fees, individuals, candidates paid for their money. Where was that money? Where did that money go? So we will be writing to the president soon, seeking for accountability. So we are putting the order. Those who will be outside or those who misappropriated the funds, then law is going to take its course.
You know, I've heard this on social media, this issue of money, the European Union and all those kinds. I would say, I mean, for the record, I don't have the evidence or the know-how that, but I'm sure what we are talking about, you know, for a fact that the money came in, because we are trying to make sure that it's not speculation, but there was money that was.
There was money. That money is confirmed by ZANU itself. They received the money.
So it was confirmed by ZANU and
yes.
not Triple C.
Both parties that were contesting in the election were given that money. That money was there to do one, training of the polling agents, deployment of the polling agents, taking care of the affairs of the polling agents, food, transport, etc., and stuff like that, so that the election becomes credible. We didn't want a situation whereby the election, there is no polling agent for another political party, therefore it jeopardizes, it compromises the outcome of the election. So that was the essence of that money.
So is it not the money that ZANU-PF rejected?
Well, on paper they rejected, but they accepted the money.
So in your party, who took the money?
This is where we are. This is why I'm saying we need to establish who received that money. and where did that money go? Because our polling agents, they still need that money. So if these are the criminals around the president, one of them will have to account, and some of them will have to really show the face and tell us where did that money go.
Already there's speculation that you are angling to receive the political finances money.
No, that's obvious. The political finance, it goes to the authority. I'm the authority.
But how are you the authority when there is the president?
No, the president is the face, and I'm the engine.
I'll leave it there. But the point here is this over 2 million US dollars, that was not all of it, or at least some of it, was mislaid. It's just another one of those accusations pointing to the MDC CCC leadership being corrupt. These things are not going to go away. And these are the things that one can say it wasn't a mistake. And they're not going to go away. And that undermines one's political credibility. As much as some Zimbabweans out there would want to believe that the opposition MDC CCC leaders are politically credible, the truth of the matter is they've lost political credibility. This is the reality they've got to deal with. And we as a nation have got to accept and deal with. Because as long as we have individuals who have lost political credibility, still representing us, it means as a nation, we are still stuck. I've said on this platform, and I'll say it again, the MDC CCC leaders had the golden opportunity to implement the democratic reforms during the GNU of 2008 to 2013. They failed to implement even one token reform. And at that point, alarm bells should have started ringing in the people of Zimbabwe's heads. There were no alarm bells. And now, decades down the line, we find they're still continuing to blunder from pillar to post. And we are the ones who are paying dearly for all this blundering.
I believe trust is earned at the end of the day. And if you breach that trust or you disregard that trust that you have been given by the people will shun you and the people will leave your side and watch you fall. And I believe Chamisa is at this point where somebody that was loved, somebody that had a great following, he lost the trust of the people through lying, through manipulation, and so many other, dubious means and ways. And a lot of people, I must say, asked the questions and they expected answers. And instead of getting answers, they were told, no, don't ask me. I'm going on break, waiting for the situation to die down and then come back and say, no one was playing in the political, dance floor and so forth. And this didn't sit down with a lot of free-minded people out there. Of course, we have to expect that we will find die-hard followers who will not ask anything but gladly follow. We have to expect those people. And those are the same people that will defend without the facts, that will come out and shout and attack you just like how ZANU PF would, because they do not rely on facts and what is happening at that moment. Chamisa was trusted by a lot of people. We could say he was trusted by nearly 2 million Zimbabweans who are currently in Zimbabwe. He was trusted by nearly, or the majority of Zimbabweans out in the diaspora. They trusted him with finances, with goodwill, that he would, do the right thing and use finances properly. Just like what, Chabangu there is saying. And I believe him. The money was used. We all saw what the money was used for. Bulletproof cars. And now we are hearing farms and car sales and all sorts of things. What the money was intended for was not done. And rightfully, the owners of the money are now asking, but hold on a minute. We gave you on the trust that you would do A, B, C, D. And they have that right. It's unfortunate that the die-hard Chamisa fans would now go on to persecute those that are asking for accountability. And yet this is the prime, the one of the principles of democracy. It's sad, but I am happy that there are Zimbabweans out there that are asking questions. And that is a good step towards democracy, because accountability is essential. And for that, I'm I'm happy and delighted that that is progress.
Well, I'd like to relate this issue of MDC Triple C being corrupt, incompetent, liars, and conmen, who have failed to deliver meaningful change, and that they are not going to do so. If you look at the present situation, ZANU PF has thrown on the political stage this constitutional amendment number 3. There is no doubt that constitutional amendment number 3 is a decoy. ZANU PF does not want the people of Zimbabwe to talk about the 2023 elections and how ZANU PF blatantly rigged those elections. Even SADC and the AU election observers condemned those elections. Who gave ZANU PF legitimacy? MDC. by participating in those flawed elections. I believe MDC people have taken up this constitutional amendment with either the same naivety that they don't see it as a decoy, or they see it, but they are once again taking advantage of the people. Because many of the ordinary Zimbabweans out there, they do not see this as a decoy. Here is Tendai Biti commenting on this very issue of this amendment.
That is to say, 2/3 in the National Assembly and 2/3 in the Senate. It must then go to a referendum, because it is a bill altering term limits in the country. The referendum is a simple process, Baba. The referendum simply asks whether you are saying yes or no. Because we are going to campaign and live in the mountains to get that no vote. There's a second problem.
I'll leave it at that. The most important point here, 2 points actually. First of all, Tendai Biti is now saying to the people of Zimbabwe, he's willing to live in the mountains to make sure that this amendment does not go through. I take you back to the 2008 to 2013 GNU. If the opposition had implemented the democratic reforms, which they should have done, and made the best of that opportunity, then Zimbabwe would not be in this mess. So we are looking at the same leaders who had 5 years to implement the democratic reforms. They failed to submit even one reform proposal in 5 years. And now they're telling us they're prepared to live in the mountains to stop an amendment. There's something terribly wrong there. The truth of the matter is, MDC leaders sold out on reforms. Now they're trying to give themselves some credibility by challenging this amendment. But what I can tell you now is that regardless of what happens with the amendment, Tendai Biti, Nelson Chamisa, Douglas Monzora, Lovemo Maduku, and all the opposition leaders who have participated in previous elections, knowing fully well that the process is flawed, knowing fully well that by participating they are giving ZANU-PF legitimacy, they will participate in the next flawed elections to give ZANU-PF legitimacy. This is at the heart of our problem. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.